So with that, does anybody have a question for Ryan right now?
Yeah, Ryan, how do you play golf?
Uh, Jesus.
Welcome to a bonus episode of B2B Synergy, where we highlight PPUSA Golf. PPUSA Golf is our Power Partners USA division that brings together golfers,
mostly beginners,
who want to learn and improve their golf game, all while doing business on the golf course. I'm Alan Armijo.
And I'm Debra Armijo.
And together we are
The Golf Couple.
We'll take listeners on a podcast golf journey. We'll have invited guests along with professional golf instructor and Power Partner USA member Rian Cooley to answer
anything about golf or learning golf.
Learn, network, and have fun with us on the golf course.
Now let's hear Ryan's answer about how do you play golf?
Yeah, it's just like there's such infant stages in the beginning. And I know that Debra have been through that. And I don't know who's been playing longer, but I know Debra's coming out the other side where she's not such an infant anymore. And she's starting to realize like, oh, I can play this game. I'm playing pretty good. And that was a little while ago, but now she's being able to like make these moves and, I'm saying like, okay, hips first, then arms. She can do all this and she's more coachable, but it takes a second to get over those infant stages. Yeah.
So I'm not coachable anymore.
No, once you get past the infant stages, you're very coachable and it just becomes much easier. It's such a foreign game with that stick in your hand and trying to figure it out. And yeah, it can be tough in the beginning.
Jeff, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, what you do?
I am a commercial real estate broker. My firm is Centric Partners. I have a team. There's about 9 of us that cover Southern California. And we do a lot of stuff as it relates to commercial real estate, but the core of the business is on the brokerage. So working with businesses, primarily tenants, but also investors, helping them to lease and or purchase commercial property, office, industrial warehouse, some retail, some multi-unit residential for investor type clients.
Why are you learning golf? Why are you getting into it?
There's a couple reasons. I mean, I've been doing commercial real estate for 20 years. So I figured, hey, might be a good idea to learn golf. I have a lot of friends that play golf. And honestly, Alan, the golf lessons and networking that you put on it in the last year just sounded really intriguing. And being out there with you guys and with Ryan as the coach just got me super interested. And I think I might be addicted now.
Great. Jill, did you have a question for Ryan?
Actually, I did. When you're on the range and you're transitioning from irons to hybrids to, et cetera, how do you steady yourself I'm having a hard time just transitioning. So I get used to, you hit a bucket of balls, I get used to using an iron. And then I transition to a hybrid and it's just funky making that transition from irons to hybrid, et cetera. Like what should I be telling myself, or what's the key that to be able to transition comfortably?
I would say hitting a 9 iron or an 8 iron is so much easier than hitting a hybrid or a driver. It's going to expose you a lot more when you're hitting the longer clubs, less lofted really. So I think what it comes down to is trying to stick with that 9 or 8 iron and kind of master it. I mean, it's never going to happen, but it's trying to get it down better. And so the transition, because this transition should go smooth if you do have those shorter clubs down. So it's get comfortable with those shorter irons and try to master those. And then when you go to a hybrid or a driver, it should translate a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, just getting it more
I
solid.
spend my time focusing on iron and then having it like second nature, so to speak.
Yeah. And that's usually what I tell my beginners is start with the 9 or the 8 and hit it a lot and just get used to swinging and get familiar with it. So instead of going up and down the bag and doing all that. But yeah, try to master that one shorter club and get it to where you're just, you own that club. And then when you transfer over to another club, it should go a lot smoother.
Ryan, I take it that when you're teaching us, it seems like all of the it doesn't matter what club you have in your hand, the swing is itself is the same. It has a different club. Is that true? Knowing that the longer club is harder to hit.
Yeah, it should be pretty much the same. The length of the club should, the club technology should swing kind of you. So it's going to do what it needs to do. If you just keep the same swing kind of going, it should be very, very similar.
Joe, tell us a little about you and what you do.
911 Campus Notify is a consultative company that works with schools, higher ed, public cities, utilities, etc., to secure your environment. So whether you're a campus of children or a campus of, let's say, city employees, when it comes to physical safety and physical security, that's where we step in and come at it from a modular approach, where maybe you just want to secure the building and be able to use electronic locks, or maybe you want to have more technology that is based on maybe your environment. Maybe there is a likelihood for, an active shooter, or a likelihood for a kid to flip out. What do you do? What do you have in place where you can leverage technology instead of having people run around and figuring out what to do?
Great. Thank you. Amber joined us, Amber Clark. Hi, did you have a question for Ryan?
Well, I kind of came on to hear other questions so I can learn just from that, people who are more experienced. I feel like my first lesson is, I mean? I learned a lot in there, so I'm just kind of tuning in to listen. I guess the question I could ask is, I went to, I don't know the name of the store, but it's in Seal Beach, the golf store. And I compared the club, the 8, and I asked for something similar and they gave me a 7. And I know that you said try to practice with the 8 or a 9. Should I take it back and ask for an 8 or a 9 instead to get my swing down?
I think you can work with the 7 and see what it does for you. If it is maybe a little too tough to hit, then maybe take it back. They do give 3 months to exchange. So you get full credit. You can use that money towards anything. And I think you can exchange up to 3 times. So I would stick with it for now, and then maybe bring it with you, obviously, whenever we do our next lesson, and I can take a look at it and just make sure that it's something suitable for you.
Okay.
Just to make sure that you have the right tools. And
Amber, can you tell us why you got into golf, or why you want to get into golf and learn it?
Yeah, I lived in Arizona. I went to Arizona State, go Devils. And if you have ever been to Arizona, the most exciting thing or the most popular thing to do is golf. And if you don't golf, then it's because you like to shop or just be out of, be in the sun. So it's very popular. A lot of my colleagues golfed, and I was, I want to participate, but didn't know how to play. And then I have 4 children. And so I knew that golf is a way to network. And I feel like the saying, that's where all the deals are made, or on the golf course, is true. So I wanted to be able to expose that to my children. So I actually got my son in golf lessons, and then I took him at the same time. And that was a while ago. It just seems like it's a fun sport to play. I enjoy it every time I'm out there.
What do you do for a profession?
I'm a school administrator. So currently I'm an assistant principal at a middle school in Huntington Park. And I also am looking to start a consultancy business with my education. So being that I was a special ed teacher, and a school administrator. I have a purview to be able to help others either get into education or help students with specific learning disabilities be able to access curriculum, that kind of thing. And then just my discipline purview allows me to support parents trying to access education for their students or for themselves.
Ryan, you want to talk about your work with teaching young golfers?
Well, I don't have my junior camps anymore as of starting this summer, but I do work with a lot of juniors, and I have had good success with the junior camps, juniors and women, just on the fact that I have, I think, good patience for them. And most instructors seem to, the stories I hear, don't. Some of the women don't even get a call back. And after they bought, 5 lessons, they'll take 3 and they can't even get a call back from their instructor. So, which is kind of upsetting. It doesn't make me look good, but I think that's really what it comes down to is on top of being a decent instructor, I have the patience and and the want to be there. I want to be there. I love hanging out with Jill and Deb, and I can't wait to work with Amber and Jeffrey. You got a little feminism in you, so yeah. Oh.
God. Let me take it back to Jill. Why did you get into golf, Jill? We've known each other a while through our lessons and everything, but what's your reason and what's your reason now?
Because, well, first and foremost, just like Amber, my field, the IT field is a male dominated field. And every time there's a conference or an event that's like, oh, our free time, we're going to have this golf tournament. And I was always just standing on the sidelines. I'm like, okay, it was either that or, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders or something like that. So I was like, you know what? I'll do the golf thing and be able to hang with the boys and play. And it's true. There's a lot of discussion about business that does happen on the golf course. Plus, all of my guy friends play golf. So I always felt left out when they went off playing golf. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll just kind of hang out here. So yeah, and it's something to master because I understand it's, at the time, it's the hardest thing to master. And I'm all about a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take it to Debra. She has a few questions for y'all.
Well, are you going to ask me how I got into golf?
Okay. Debra? Debra Armijo, tell us what you do and why did you get into golf?
Oh, well, I'm a graphic designer with I Trust Marketing, and Alan and I have our business together for helping businesses market their business, different platforms, whether it's online, offline, print, web, just helping businesses get the word out. And of course, I do the graphics. Alan does everything else, the project management, get the sales, etc. Well, many years ago, my husband bought me a set of clubs for Valentine's Day. So that was my intro to golf. And
That's a ballsy move, right?
yeah, but it was fun and I'm glad he did it. And over the years, it was tough. I mean, golf is hard and I'd play it, didn't play as much as he did off and on. And something just hit me because it was really frustrating. I wanted to play, be able to move along and something clicked where I just go, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So just really went all head in and started taking the lessons and practicing. And now I just thought, yeah, it's everything I like. I like being outside. I love walking. So I'm going to do this. And now I'm just hooked, and it's a lot of help with Ryan, and Alan's always on me, showing me things every time we're, at the driving range. So yeah, it's a great game. And mentally it's helped me a lot too. Really. So yeah, he had to really drag me out there on those first tee. You know, I was so nervous. Now I can just get up there and start playing with the boys, the big boys. I may not hit as far, but I hit straight.
Like Jeffrey has improved, but nobody's improved more than I've seen than Debra over a short period of time. She is really focused on hitting the ball now. And
Debra's
she's-
putting in the work.
And what's funny too is like right when I'm getting it, like I feel like I'm really getting it now. Now it's raining and I can't practice it. It's like I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose that feeling.
so ask us some questions. Let's see if they know.
Okay, so it just in general, anybody can answer this. So, well, except you, Ryan. What does a tee time mean to you, Jill?
It's the time that I should the first person of the group should be teeing off, hitting the ball. You need to be there 15 minutes ahead of time because sometimes the schedule is not always as accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But I win.
Yes.
Want to
Round
round
on Alan.
it? Got to round it at birdies and boots.
Okay, next question. Does anybody know what it means to step on somebody's line?
Jeff, you know that one?
Is that where when you're on the green putting and you get in between their ball and the hole?
Yes, you don't want to step on their line where they're going to putt. And why? Why don't you want to step on their line?
I mean, other than bad etiquette, I mean, it just maybe
Yeah.
disrupts their concentration, their aim.
Yeah, I always thought too it would change the grass or change, how the ball would roll. Also, like
Yes, it definitely changes that. Oh, Amber. Yes.
oh, she's in the car
Amber
too.
is going this officially.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's actually like, I don't know if it's studies, but there's a guy that I've seen that he's rolling off like just like a little machine, just rolling balls through what he just walked through, and actually rolls some golf balls before that. They go in the hole nice and smooth, and it shows up him stepping in that line. He rolls the balls right through the same spot, and those balls are kind of like bouncing around and coming up short. A couple of them go in, but you could really see it affecting the way that ball is rolling actually. So it does affect it whenever you're a really good putter and you're going, okay, to my calculations, this should do this. And then it doesn't. And you look over and you see a big old cleat mark. It can really affect your putt.
Ryan, would you say that that's the number one pet peeve of golfers who are really serious? If you're playing with a golfer and you step on their line,
I would say that and, talking in someone's backswing, especially like right when they're taking it back, those are the two things that you could pretty much do everything else out there. You just don't want to be talking and, distracting. And then stepping in someone's line is also it's almost like a disrespect thing also, rather than just your line is messed up or you have cleat marks, in the way. It's just kind of a disrespectful thing. It's like just driving on the freeway and someone just cuts you off for no reason when you have all this space behind you. Has that ever happened to anybody?
no.
So it's just very disrespectful. And that's kind of what the game is about. It's about respecting the people around you is number one, respecting the game, respecting yourself. So that's the etiquette of the game is the real reason why I love it. It's just when no one's watching, you have to call a penalty on yourself, or you're supposed to. And that comes down to self-respect. If you're not lying to anybody else but yourself on that one. So yeah, it's talking in someone's backswing or making noise in someone's backswing and stepping in their line are definitely the two biggest no-nos.
Okay. What else, Deb?
Okay. Why do you yell for? Amber?
I have no idea, but I would yell that just because it sounds like fun.
For?
I know,
Ryan?
I know Jill. Jill probably knows this. Jeff.
You don't know Fore?
Are you talking to Amber?
Anybody?
Like if Jeff?
I
Yeah?
think so. Yeah. I mean, if your ball is maybe going off course and potentially going to hit somebody that might be on a hole next to you, or, I mean, not with me, but maybe you hit it further than expected and you're playing into the guys in front of you, basically alerting anyone else on the golf course that you might be getting hit with the ball.
Do you mean why do you yell for, or what does it mean?
Why do you yell for?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm misunderstood. Okay,
Yeah, I know you know that one,
Same.
Jill.
as opposed to
But,
Hands out.
Yeah. It's just like saying timber. Trees coming down, they all yell timber just to like say, hey, it's something's coming at you possibly. And you even want to yell for right or for left if you can. So if you're on the tee box, your ball goes right, you yell for right, and they have a general idea of where that's coming from, so they can know, okay, that's coming at me, So, but yeah, for is just like timber. It's just like letting everybody know, like duck and cover. You can pretty much hit anybody you want if you yell for. It's all fair game. You hit somebody and you're like, I yelled for, and they're like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, no problem.
Have you been
They
hit,
thank you for
Ryan?
it.
Have you ever been hit?
Actually, I got hit at Hartwell one time. I was on hole 1, just starting, and the person was on hole 9 and screamed for, and I stopped. I put my arms over my head like this, and it hit me right in my forearm. It would have hit me right in like either the chest or the face. So I walked over to that person. They thought I was really upset, but I went over to them and just thanked them, like, I don't know how many times for hitting me.
If they don't yell for on me, if the ball's coming at me, I just put the ball in my pocket.
Yeah.
You put it on
someone
the
hits
tee.
you,
I got that
If
from
some-
Ryan. Ryan puts it on a tee, so they come up and then they see their ball is sitting on a tee in the middle of fairway on the green.
it's a casual way of letting them know, like, hey, you hit into me. Like, you don't have to scream at them or anything, and just say, hey, like, I was close enough to tee your ball up. So yeah.
Yeah. Another one?
Yeah, you can hit.
I
Well,
You
love
can hit
how
anyone you want.
And I have gotten hit, but not, it bounced first and then it hit me. One went through the cart, hit, the driving cart, went through the seat, hit me on the behind, and then one's hit me just like bounced and then hit me like on a leg. And it still had a sting to it. I don't think they yelled for. I was not happy though. But
Did you
then
have to-
again, Alan says I play better when I'm pissed. It really pissed me off.
Yes, he did.
I feel like all this talk about etiquette, but every Adam Sandler movie does not show that. Is it just me?
But
Okay.
well,
No, that's the whole point of those movies, is all the etiquette is out the window, and it's just like everything's game. So, yeah.
Well, I was wondering, like, well, do you have another one, Deb?
oh, just the last one I had was, and it can go to anybody. It's what does ready golf mean?
Whoever's ready goes first, plays next, or goes whatever. Yeah.
Yes. If you're ready to tee off, go. If you're putting and you're close, you can finish it. It's to just keep it going quick on a public course.
Do
Anything else?
you want to expand on that, Ryan? Ready golf?
Yeah, actually, kind of what goes with that is, I would say, I think this one's for Jeff, just because he's kind of the new guy, and I'm not going to pick on Amber right now. Who goes first after everybody tees off? So you tee off on hole 1, and everybody's all over the place. And who goes first? after that.
Person with the low score?
No.
Who takes this? Who goes on the second shot? Right.
Are you
It
talking
would
about this?
be everybody tees off. You're all, let's say everybody's in the fairway. Everybody hit good shots. but
Okay. The farthest one back.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I thought you meant on the next tee.
Yeah. And it's the person who shoots the lowest score on that hole. So let's say Jeff birdies hole 1 and everybody else pars it because we're all great golfers. And on the next tee, it should be Jeff going first. Now, if it's like Jeff gets a par and everybody gets bogey, there's just kind of like the golf gods on this one. So it's kind of the golf gods are bigger than the real God. I feel like sometimes even he has to like answer to them. So it's if somebody birdies hole 1 and then you're going to hole 2, the etiquette is, okay, we're not going in front of a birdie. Birdie's going first. Now, if the person who got the birdie says, I'm not ready yet, someone to go, then it's anybody can go. But you have to hear it from him. Or sometimes what we'll do is we'll birdie a hole and someone else will run up to the tee box because they're playing ready golf and they'll tee off and they'll almost always hit a bad shot because they went in front of a birdie. So it's kind of the golf gods letting you know, like, hey, like
Don't do it.
back up. You gotta get the okay. So we'll let that person hit. They hit a bad shot, and we go, "Wow, you just went in front of a birdie. Like, what are you doing?" So, yeah, but if it's a par or worse, it's just like anybody goes. But if somebody gets a birdie, it's kind of special. So you just let that person go, and yeah, they're in a groove. You let them stay in a groove.
I did not know that. That's a good one. But nobody's hitting birdies around me.
That's a challenge, Alan.
Yeah.
I could go to Hartwell and still not hit a birdie. Come on, it's like so. Why don't you explain? I have a question. I'm Alan Armijo. I Trust Marketing, Power Partners USA, PPUSA Golf. Our business-to-business introduction service is growing. We provide introductions to professionals to generate repeat referral business for those professionals. We don't meet. We use our technology and podcasts to promote people and special events to introduce them in person. And I use golf primarily for networking. I love to golf, but I actually prefer more to do golf for business, whether I'm getting business on the golf course by chance because I got set up with somebody who needs one of our services, or playing with clients or playing with associates. It's always fun to get out there and network that way. But my question for Rian is, how do you explain, or how do you, especially if you're keeping your own score, you're trying to shoot a low score. You hit a putt and it's close to the hole and they say it's a gimme. Like, what is a gimme to you when you're scoring for real?
If you're playing against somebody and you're 10 feet out and they say that's a gimme, that's a gimme because you're playing against them. You're not playing against the course. You're not playing against yourself. Let's say you're just out there playing with 3 other people and you're 3 feet away and someone says, oh, that's a gimme, go ahead and take it. It's up to you really. If you want to make that putt and you go, no, I got to work on these putts. I would like to make this. It's not, a foot away is a little different, but if it's a little bit out there where you could miss it and you want to take it, take it. If you don't. It's really up to you on your game and what level you're at. I play with some pretty good golfers. So if I'm within 3 feet, they're usually going to give it to me like 2.5, 3 feet. We don't miss a lot of putts from that range, but it's really up to you. But if you're playing against somebody and you're 100 yards out and they say that's good, take it out.
Well,
That's good.
if like say what happens now if you hit a ball 2 feet away and they say it's good, it's a gimme, and you hit it anyway and you miss, is it still considered good or is it a miss?
If you're playing against somebody, it's good. No matter what, if you're playing against somebody for any reason, once they give it to you, if you miss, it's still good. But once again, you kind of make up your own rules for yourself when you're playing with yourself. So somebody says that's good, and you say to yourself, no, I need to make these, and you miss it, that's a miss. You know, so you can't let someone else dictate your game when you're playing the course or yourself just because someone says, oh, that's good. Like usually what like the better etiquette is, if you're going to give someone a putt that you're not playing against, you say, hey, I would give that to you. You want it? And you ask them if they want it. So, and then more than likely, they're going to say, yeah, I'll take that. So,
Like somebody you don't know, like they set you up with somebody and they're actually a pretty good golfer. Like I tend to stay out of it, like let them decide on their own, but you can still give it to them, right? Or is it awkward?
you could kind of, it's kind of like you tell them, that's good by me. Do you want it back? And then they'll make the determination. No, I want to putt it, or, oh, okay. Yeah. Hit that back to me. So it's kind of weird, but you don't really have anything to do with their game, but you do. So it's like, you're just being nice saying, hey, I seen you make putts today and this is good if you want it. And so sometimes I get people that go, no, I need to make this putt. And I totally respect it. If they're missing those putts, they want to work on it. They want the pressure. They want to make sure they're playing the game the way they want to play it. So there's a million ways to play this game. And some people like to play it by the letter of the law. Some people are just willy-nilly. Like me and my friends, we're pretty willy-nilly. Like we could be, like I said, 3-4 feet out. They know I'm not going to miss a putt. They're just like, yeah, just take it. I'm like, cool.
I'll make
What's
you.
the
I'll make you do
incentive on
that putt.
Yeah, Jeff.
What does Jeff say?
That's far.
Why would someone do that?
Why would someone give you the putt?
Yeah.
A 4-footer.
Well, that's actually a really good question. When I play my buddies, I'm usually playing against them.
Yeah.
So when they give me a putt, it's like, it's done. So that it's, as soon as you're playing against somebody and someone says, that's good, it's good. Now, sometimes you don't want that person making those 3 to 5 foot putts and getting in a groove. And then at the end of the last 2 or 3 holes, they might have one and you go, no, I want to see that putt.
Oh,
So, and then they're not, they're not in a groove. They don't have anything going. And it's like, they might have a better chance of missing that putt at the end when it really counts. And you go, no, I want to see this 2-foot putt here. It's downhill. It's a slider.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a head game. And you'll see that if you watch like the Ryder Cup, stuff like that. But we really mess with each other out there and we'll say, like, no, I want to see that one.
That's awesome.
interesting.
So you might give them to them in the beginning, or in the middle of the match. And then towards the end, you're like, no, I want to see that.
Let's see here. Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Rian Cooley Golf Academy?
Been in the area for 14 years, right here at Little Rec. I love it there. I'm the only golf instructor I know that teaches only on grass, no range whatsoever. And I get much better results off the grass and it transitions into their game a lot better. It took, 8 years to build it up, but the last 6 years have been pretty good. Word of mouth is doing well. So.
Well, we've been around the horn. Does anybody have any questions for Ryan or anybody else?
Well, just where Ryan, the lessons on the course they're so different from having lessons on the driving range. They don't even compare, night and day. It really makes you feel like you're golfing, like you're in that situation of golf, because you can be at the driving range all you want, hit. When you, when you take it and transfer it to the golf or the golf course, it's sometimes I'll be like, oh no, I don't know what to do. It's like I freeze, but then I loosen up. But it's night and day, and it's really fun. It's really makes a big difference. And we've had other instructors over the years way back, but Ryan really can he can fix something and adjust it and explain it really simple and not be too technical about it. Makes it fun.
I agree.
Same. I agree. Too.
I agree too.
Don't get a big head, Ryan.
Jeff, what the hell?
Well, thank you, that man. I've already told you that many times.
What I've noticed since I can get through the course much better, and being a woman, like when I first, like, men don't tell me how to do things anymore. Alan can tell me, I'm fine with it, but these men, when I first started, they were always trying to give me, instructions, and I don't get that anymore.
You don't like that. You hate that when they do that, right?
Oh yeah, it's like, don't, yeah,
Well, men know everything though, right?
yeah.
That's about golf. It's like,
It's like I've noticed it. I've noticed it over the past few years. They're kind of like, oh, I better warm up here.
They're just teaching you the thing they saw on the Golf Channel last week,
Yeah.
and it's so bad.
I mean, how do you feel, Jill? Like when you're on the range and somebody next to you tries to offer you advice, what's your take on, or what's your feeling when you get that advice, or do you want it?
It would be a colorful response. So I can't really say. No, sometimes I'll get someone that'll make a comment when I'm on the range and I'm just getting started and it's all wonky. And I'll get well, can I? And I'll just kind of glare at them. And then I go away. But it is true. Certain golfers have a tendency to, let me help this little girl out, or whatever the case is. I just kind of give them a look and keep going.
A damsel in distress, right?
Right. It's like, do tell me. Yeah, no.
My favorite is
So
when,
bad.
and this happened to me with Debra, is like, okay, you got to do this, or like, you're not doing that. And then I go, let me show you. And I do it. And I just totally shank it. Right. And it happened all the time. And I've seen other guys do it and teachers, women especially. And they shank it, and the first thing I do is I look at their club, like, well, this club has got moved stuff.
Yeah, what?
The club did that. Yeah.
Never.
I got one more. There she.
Yeah.
Do you know what a handicap is, Amber?
I feel like I do. Isn't that okay? Let me think. I know that handicap. I want to say that a golfer already knows, like, maybe a weakness that they have, or it's not their strength, but I don't know if that's right. I feel like it's something more positive, or like, a good thing, but I can't remember.
It would be, or actually, Jill. Jill, do you know?
Not really, because I'll flub it up as I try to explain it. I know
Okay.
it is. A handicap is a good thing. So if someone says, I have a blah, blah, blah handicap, in golf speak, it's like, ooh, it's like somebody saying,
Yeah.
I run 100-meter in blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
So a handicap is what your average is over on a golf course. So if a golf course is a par 72, which typically, I would say, 80 to 90% of golf courses or 18-hole courses are going to be par 72.
Mm-hmm.
it would be the average that you shoot over. So if you're a 10 handicap, that means on average you shoot an 82.
Well, okay.
So if you say you're a 10 handicap, it lets them know, okay, on average I shoot 82. And so what's nice about having a handicap, that the handicap in golf is probably the most true rather than any other sport with like pool or bowling or tennis. So if Jeff's a 10 handicap and Jill's a 5 handicap, that means she typically shoots 5 strokes better than Jeff. And
Take that,
if they
Jeff.
wanted, yes. And if they wanted to play a match, Jill would have to give Jeff 5 strokes right off the bat. So now the playing field is even, and they're playing. Yeah, it's really competitive that way. That means Jill, even though she's better, she would have to really work to still beat Jeff. So a handicap it makes it really fun. So a really good golfer can play a really bad golfer, and you can play for $5 or $10 or just bragging rights or whatever it is. But that really good golfer is going to have to work their butt off to really beat that, I guess, bad golfer. And
Well, it's cool.
it just evens the playing field like perfectly.
Do they do that in the women's groups and men's groups? Because they all have handicaps to be in those groups, right? I mean, you have to have a handicap to be like in the women's golf group. You know, like at Little Rick, they have a couple of them. Do they?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, do they do that? What you said? If their handicap is different, they give you extra strokes or things like.
Yeah, they're gonna, let's say in the women's club, if someone's a 9, someone's a 2, yeah, they're gonna give you those strokes, and they'll have a net and a gross. So if somebody just is really good, they deserve to be rewarded for that, even if they get beat by someone with a high handicap, because they put in a lot of work over the years to get to that position. But so they'll have a net and a gross. So one that works with their handicap and then one that's straight up. They'll usually do that. So yeah. And then the trick question is, does anybody know what a plus handicap is? This is something almost only 1% of golfers know. So this is some inside knowledge.
Yes.
Well, I was going to get going, but now you got me.
So a plus handicap means you are shooting under par. So
Okay.
I am a +2 handicap. So whenever I play a golf course, on average, I'm shooting -2. I'm shooting 2 under. So I get, if I'm a +2 and Jeff's a 10, I got to give him 12 strokes. So yeah, a plus handicap. A lot of people, someone says, oh, I'm a +1 handicap, and people think, oh, you're a 1 handicap. It's like, no, they're 2 strokes better than that, which those 2 strokes, when you get down to that level, are pretty big.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks for coming online.
Good to see you
I think
guys.
we are, we covered everything in this hour. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we'll have to do this again.
I know where you